I mean, the Wizard's Stone is about a character that becomes a wizard, and the next book expounds on he's much later in his life where he has mastered a lot of mastered magic, quote unquote, and is sort of put to the task of proving what he can do. And that's the one I'm working on right now, which would be my fifth book.
Would you say this is a sword and shield style fantasy or a spear and sandal kind of pre
Sword and
medieval
shield.
sword and
Sword
shield?
and shield. All of my stuff is sword and shield.
Did you use sort of as the basis? Because there's kind of two schools of thought. Some people use medieval Europe because that's the Western sphere. Other people intentionally make their fantasy nations other than that, just to be different. So a lot of Indian and Chinese and other places inspiring the stories. Did you have anything in particular when you were designing the worlds?
Um, well, I always have a big bone contention when anybody says, medieval fantasy, um, because a lot of the elements of quote medieval fantasy exist in every other culture: castles, swords, spears, shields, armor, dragons, monsters, ghosts, all that stuff. They all exist in other cultures. Um, the only thing that differs is whatever culture you're in. What I do is I'll take different cultures and I will throw them together. Matter of fact, the first book, the Revenant and the Cult book one, I had an editor on it, and it was kind of funny because he was writing little notes. He was telling me about little notes in the margin about how how medieval peasants wouldn't talk like this or act like this or live in these types of conditions